Hey, what's up, guys? This is TJ with the Show Me Better in Real Life podcast. Sorry, it's been a little bit of a break. Last week I had some stuff going, plus editing for the last podcast, which, man, it's been such a good time being able to interview a couple of my college friends, one being Josh Ghost, and then also the other being Heather Parody. Heather Parody is just awesome podcaster. So if you get a chance to check out one of her podcasts, I encourage you to do exactly that, because she provides so much value to like her audience. And so it might be something you're looking for. One is called the Unconventional Leaders Podcast. The other one is Healthy, Happy Brain. Anyway, awesome stuff. She has all kinds of different guests, and a lot of her stuff is centered around not only self-improvement, but also how to take the steps to be best version of you. And then we also have Josh Ghost. He's a teacher. He's also an awesome musician. And so, yeah, I really appreciate them. But one of the things with being able to kind of navigate through the guest podcast is the fact that it takes a lot longer than I expected to be able to have time to both do life, work, and also be able to edit the videos in time. And so I hadn't quite found my niche whenever it comes to like being able to edit quicker, especially with video issues and a number of other things. Anyway, so long story short, if you hadn't gotten a chance to check out the previous podcast, I encourage you to do that. Obviously, the name of the podcast is Show Me Better, but Mandy and I, my wife Mandy, have a podcast called Tyler Gang Podcast. Sorry, this is a plug for all things podcasts and different platforms and things like that. So anyway, so check Tyler Gang Podcast out. We're on Spotify. We are on Apple Music. We are also on Audible. Pretty much anywhere where they play podcasts is where we're at, popping up on YouTube as well. And so just be checking a couple of those things out. So anyway, so over the last couple of podcast episodes, something that we've really been focusing on is relationships and what it looks like to have a healthy relationship, kind of where like all of us might get like some of our first relationship experiences. And oftentimes it's like within the house, right? And so it might be a positive experience, or it might be a harder experience. It might be something that shows you healthy ways to be able to communicate and express yourself. And then it might be some toxic ways of being able to do that, right? Or maybe you're in the middle somewhere. But the point is that where we're supposed to be able to get those experiences from that are healthy are in the house. And sometimes it happens outside the house. Sometimes some of the things that we learn and ways that we know to be able to express things come from church, or maybe it comes from a teacher, or maybe it comes from an uncle or a close family friend. And one of the ways that we can find ourselves becoming the best version of who it is that God created us to be is by paying attention to what's going on around us. And if we can do that, it changes the game. Because unfortunately, the way that the world is built, we have so much information and not of instruction on how to use that information. And so that's what the purpose of the Show Me Better in Real Life podcast is for, is to be able to get different types of people in front of you, so that we're able to utilize what we have access to in order to put forth our best effort, and then also have the best chance at being the most healthy possible, be the most complete possible, and being the closest to what it is that God has created for us to be. And so this week, I actually was scrolling through Instagram, and I found this video that really inspired me. And hopefully it'll inspire you too. I'm gonna go ahead and get it queued up. Kind of bear with me. There's a lot of really dope insights in this video, and then we'll chat just a quick bit about it.
Why are you off the mat?
Because I need to take a break.
Why you need to take a break?
Because my legs hurt.
Can you still run?
Yes.
Why are you crying? There's a reason for the tears.
Because I'm slowing down.
There we go. Does it make you feel bad? You're not ready to quit. You got more energy. It's the emotions that's making you want to quit. So this is the place to get all of this out. Tears release stress hormones. The saying big boys don't cry is a lie. Every man I know who doesn't cry, cries in other ways. Can't keep a job. Always on the edge, ready to fight someone. I want you to get focused. Look at me. And you're going to fight and push through this lap. Do you understand? Good. Get back on the mat. What do you do now when you're overwhelmed with your emotions and you want to quit?
I push through them and I don't let them control me.
Good.
That was such a bar, bro. Uh, at the very end, what the little boy said is, what I do whenever something is hard, I push through and I don't let it control me. And man, there are so many people like across the world, right, that don't have the experience of having somebody come alongside them and say, "Hey, I know that things are really challenging right now, but keep going." Like these are some of the things that are getting in the way of what it is that you want to accomplish. Here's some of the ways that we push through. And I think that's one of the biggest challenges that as people that we have is the fact that like when it comes to hard life situations, that there are ways to be able to push through things. You know, for some people they go numb, right? And so they experience certain things and their brains just like almost kind of like trauma block things, right? And there's not any healing that goes forth. It's just like our brains just kind of shut things off. And as a result of that, it can oftentimes like damage relationships. It can keep us from intimacy. It can keep us from actually being who it is that we're pretending to be, right? But then there's healthy ways to be able to navigate through some of those things. And so I just wanted to real quick give you a couple of tips on what that looks like. What does it look like to like handle things in a healthy way whenever it comes to pushing through things, right? So there's a couple of things that the guy in that video said that really stuck out to me, and I'm just summarizing how I feel like he gave, and then adding one more point to it. Uh, the first thing that he gave back to the little boy was like control, right? He told them it's not that you don't have the energy to be able to do it or that your legs can't do it. It's that your emotions are making you feel like you aren't able to do it. And so like the first thing it is that we can do in order to one of the things that I tell my guys that I kind of mentor pretty often is do the things that you can do. Control the things that you can control. And so within the different situations that you might be struggling with, that might be a challenge for you, you want to do the things that you can do. So if you're in a situation where you're really struggling in a relationship with somebody and maybe the communication is what the problem is, then you change the way that you communicate with people. You change the way that you express yourself to people. You change your level of vulnerability, and while doing that, it gives you the opportunity to at least on your side improve. And so that first thing is make sure that you are depending on you in the ways that you need to depend on yourself. Do your part. So the second thing is prayer, man. Um, I'm a firm believer that God put all the things that we need uh, to be the people that He makes us to be on the inside of us, right? We just have to find that in different ways. Sometimes it is seeking His face on what it is, right? Other times it's kind of like a valuation of what our friends and our family might be expressing to us, or maybe even somebody that we consider to be an enemy, listening to what they're saying. But the ultimate goal is to find a way to seek the Lord about what it is that we're having a tough time with, that thing that we need to push through. Oftentimes when we're praying, what we can find ourselves in a place of is self-reflection as we are hearing what it is that God has for us to do, right? Or we're hearing the direction, or we're hearing the correction that we need. And so there's a couple of things that can come from prayer. One is inspiration. Two is instruction. And then the third one is correction, right? And so if we listen in the prayer, if we listen in the time that we're spending time around people that really care about us, but also care about God's plan for our life, then we can be able to push through some of those more challenging things. Because when we're isolated, it makes it easy, especially isolated from our Creator. Like, it can be easy for us to like be only dependent on what it is that we know, and our knowledge is finite. It's not super expansive, and so even the smartest person benefits from the gift of community, right? So the first one is doing your part. The second one is praying. The very last thing is using what you have access to, right? I'll give you a perfect example. I actually got a call yesterday, which I thought was super amazing, because this is exactly what it is that I'm trying to build within the people that I'm connected with, as well as show other people how to do this. So a few weeks ago, I posted on Facebook, and I was looking to get one of my kids' Nintendo Switches fixed, right? And so I got a couple of different like uh, responses on the Facebook post that I did. And I had one of my guys that I mentor that called me on the phone. He was like, "Hey, I just wanted to let you know, I saw your Facebook post, didn't have time to respond on the Facebook post, uh, but there's this company within your area. P.S. He lives far away. There's a company in your area that specializes in this kind of thing." And I thought it was super cool because we spent a lot of time talking about social capital, talking about utilizing like the community that you have around you in order to be able to solve problems, not just from my side trying to give him the tools that he needs to be able to take care of things, but also vice versa. Super amazing. It was a big moment, but I feel like that's a good representation of another way to be able to push through some of life's most challenging times, right? Over the years, something that I've really found myself doing is like becoming more of a fixer, right? And it's not because, like, in my family, everybody knows how to fix everything, even though there's some people in my family that are definitely fixers. But like, I'm talking about when it comes to like mechanic type stuff or house fixing type things. My dad is one of the smartest people that I know, but I just didn't see him do a lot of like doing home repairs, doing oil changes. He usually just paid people for those types of things. But I found myself just out of necessity, because even though we make plenty of money for our family, like, it's better to save money where you can. And so like, I'm doing things on cars I've never seen done before. I am doing home repairs I've never done before. Don't get me wrong. Like, if you need a home repair, I will be there to hold the flashlight, or you need some mechanic work, I'll hold the flashlight. Don't call me if you need somebody to actually fix it. But I've kind of fumbled my way through some things. And the rest of the time, what I'm doing is I'm depending on the people that I've grown close to, the friends, the acquaintances of friends, to be able to get done what I need to get done. And so that last thing, and obviously this isn't an exhaustive list, but like the last thing that like I would encourage you to do to be able to push through difficult times is to utilize what you have, right? In scripture, it has multiple examples of asking, what is it that you have access to? And that's the way that God moves. Or what do you have in your hands? Is it a skill? Is it a physical prop? Is it a relationship? Is it a connection to a group or a community? And whatever it is, like, utilizing those things in conjunction with doing your own part, in conjunction with seeking God, what can you do in order to be able to see whatever it is that you're having a tough time with, persevere, right? What do you have access to that will help you to be able to push through whatever that challenge is, that hard time, that difficulty? And so, man, if you identify with this, man, I want to encourage you to like it and then share it with somebody. As a matter of fact, I would super appreciate whatever platform that you're watching this or listening to this on. Go ahead and share the video, add it to your favorites, follow, subscribe, whatever the thing requires, because not so that I'm able to like have another fan, but more of that you can share the resource of encouragement. Guys, I appreciate every time that you've clicked play, and I want to encourage you to continue to do the same thing over and over again as I am recording these videos, so that you can share not only maybe something that has helped you push through. As a matter of fact, tell me, what is it that has helped you to push through? And then share this so that other people will have access to it and we can broaden our social capital. I appreciate you guys. We'll see you next time.